WION. Excellencies, members of the diplomatic community, ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege to address you today at the WION Global Summit, the Pulse. This forum brings together voices from across the world to discuss the forces shaping our global future. And we meet at a time when the global system is going through a major transformation. Trade routes are being disrupted. Technology competition is reshaping power between nations. Wars continue in different parts of the world. And the institutions that once guided global cooperation are being tested like never before. The world that emerged after the Cold War, a world defined by economic integration and relative stability, is now changing. We are entering what can be described as a world of shared and shifting powers, where geography matters again. Strategic regions that were once seen as distinct or secondary are now becoming center to global politics. One of those regions is the Indian Ocean. For thousands of years, Indian Ocean was not a zone of conflict. It was a bridge between civilizations. Merchants, scholars, and travelers crossed these waters long before modern geopolitics existed. Ideas moved across the ocean. Cultures interacted. Trade flourished between Asia, Africa, and Middle East. The Indian Ocean connected societies rather than dividing them. The relationship between India and Sri Lanka is one of the oldest examples of that connection. More than 2,000 years ago, the teachings of Lord Buddha traveled from India to Sri Lanka. That journey was not just spread of philosophy. It was a beginning of a deep civilizational relationship that still shapes our society today. Trade routes links our ports. Cultural exchange shaped our traditions. And over centuries, our people built a relationship that remains one of the strongest in the Indian Ocean region. Today, Indian Ocean is once again becoming center for global economic and strategic activities. Nearly 2/3 of global oil shipments pass through its waters. Approximately half of the world's containers moves along its sea lanes. The undersea cables that carry the digital lifeline of the global economy runs along the seabed. Energy flows through it. Supply chains depend on it. Global commerce relies on it. Indian Ocean has become one of the most important economic highways in the world. And when these highways are threatened, the consequences are felt across the entire globe. Recent global events remind us how fragile this stability can be. Tensions in the Middle East continues to influence energy markets and global security. And strategic rivalry between major powers is increasingly visible in maritime regions. When instability appears in one region, it impacts quickly, spreads throughout global trade routes. Energy prices rise, supply chain slows down, market reacts. And once again, the stability of the Indian Ocean becomes critical. Located at the center of these sea routes, Sri Lanka holds one of the most strategic positions in the Indian Ocean. Ships traveling between East Asia, Middle East, and Europe pass just south of our shores. For centuries, Sri Lankan ports served as a trading hub connecting civilizations. Today, same geography places Sri Lanka at a crossroad of global commerce. But geography alone does not create influence. Influence comes from how wisely a nation manages its positions. For centuries, in strategically sensitive regions, foreign policy must be guided by balance, foresight, and discipline. We must protect our sovereignty. We must safeguard our maritime space. We must also build strong partnership with all nations. Strategic balance is not weakness. The smaller states, it is a necessity. In this changing global landscape, India's rise is one of the most important developments of the 21st century. India's economic growth, technological innovation, and demographic strength are reshaping the Indian Pacific region. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India is emerging not only as a major economic power, but also as a stabilizing force in the Indian Ocean. For neighboring countries like Sri Lanka, this creates great opportunities. Our futures are naturally connected. Sri Lanka's strategic location and infrastructure complements India's economic scale. Together, our countries can strengthen regional stability and prosperity. There are several areas where this partnership can grow. Firstly, maritime security. Strategic cooperation and regional safety are essential to ensure secure maritime routes. India's growing naval capability and Sri Lanka's location create a natural partnership to keep these routes open and secure. Secondly, regional connectivity. Strategic infrastructure and Sri Lanka's geographical location will help the countries grow as a logistic, energy, maritime, financial, and aviation services hub supporting regional trade. Strengthened by India's national green hydrogen mission and cooperation, investment, our partnership can forge a South Asia's hydrogen corridor that secured energy, drives innovation, and makes the Indian Ocean a hub of sustainable power. Third, the blue economy. Together, our countries can promote marine research, sustainable fisheries, ocean technology, and renewable ocean energy. Another major feature of this emerging global order is competition in technology. Artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, digital infrastructure, space technology. These are no longer just economic sectors. They are strategic domains that will shape global power in the decades ahead. For developing nations, the challenge is to ensure that technology creates opportunity, not inequality, and that regional cooperation will be essential. My generation inherits the responsibility to navigate global change, not merely to react to it, but to shape the world where cooperation overweights rivalry and international law guide stability. The Indian Ocean must remain what it has always been at its best, a bridge between civilizations. India, Sri Lanka, and the countries of the Indian Ocean region must work together to ensure that these waters remain open, secure, and cooperative. Because if the Indian Ocean is stable, the global economy will be stable. If the Indian Ocean prospers, the region will prosper. For centuries, this ocean shaped our past. In the decades ahead, it will shape the future of the world. And it is the responsibility of our generation to ensure that it remains. The ocean of peace and cooperation and shared responsibility. prosperity. Thank you. Teruvan Sarnai.